Okay, so this is week 6 of the final major project. This week has been the most intense week so far, probably of the whole 2 years. Pre-production is really intense for this project, and I want to do it in as much detail as possible, so I'm struggling. It's been really, really difficult, but I'm getting through. I can't deny I'm a little bit stressed because there's just so much to do, but I'm getting it done and I am sticking to a good schedule. What I think might happen in week 1, here's what I thought I would get done. I didn't think I was going to get it done, but I wanted to get it done. I was like determined to. So I wanted to get done my production schedule, analysis of existing products, resources, techniques and software, legal and ethical considerations, call sheets, contingency plan, location I think that's how you say it, risk assessment, shooting schedules, storyboards, finalising my storyboard, advanced shooting script, equipment list, and a Gantt chart. I think that's what it's called, Gantt chart. But that's basically production schedule. I expected a lot of myself this week. I think I tried to push myself maybe a bit too hard because it's Easter holidays now, and I really wanted to start filming in Easter. That is my intention. I'm very nearly done, but of course I still got a little bit to do because what I have completed was a production schedule, analysis of existing products, resources, techniques and software, legal and ethical situations, call sheets, contingency plan, location, recce, and risk assessment. So I've done quite a lot this week compared to last week. This week's been really good, productive, but it's still not enough. Of course, it looks and sounds like a lot, but it's not everything that I still have to do, and that's what's quite difficult about pre-production, because there's a lot of content. What were the challenges that I would face? A challenge that I knew I was going to face was getting everything done, and that's a challenge that I face most weeks and have done. Time management for me has always been really difficult, and this week it was extremely important to me after last week being such a it wasn't such a downfall, but it wasn't a good week. It was really important to me that I managed my time well this week and prepared as much as I could so that I could get everything I wanted to get done, and that worked. And I did get everything I wanted to, well, I didn't get everything I wanted to get done because that was slightly unachievable. I set the boundary too high, as simple as, but I don't regret that because I still got a lot more done than I think I would usually get done. How did I prepare for week 1? Of course, I created a new production schedule. That was the most important thing for me this week. Last week I had no production schedule. I did have a production schedule, but I didn't like a schedule as in what I was going to do that week. But I didn't stick to it. So this week it was really important that I prepared and that I managed my time well, and I put everything in my day-to-day life aside so that I'd be able to focus on finishing my work. So what was happening is I was making decisions. I made a lot of new decisions this week, all related to production and creative decisions. Nothing really changing in my pre-production, but yeah, I made a lot of new decisions to do with my actual product. This is evident in my book. I won't go through the changes that I made, but I think my changes were for the better, and I ran it through with my mum because she's quite helpful with stuff like that. It's just a fresh eye. And she liked my ideas, and her feedback was good, so I expanded on those ideas that I'd come up with over this week, and that was a successful part of this week, just coming up with new ideas. And did it work out as expected? Yes, I didn't think that I was going to finish everything, and I did. So I don't know whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm still really happy with how the week's gone, and I expected to do a lot of work, and I did do a lot of work. That's all that really matters. So I'm really happy about that. How was I dealing with the challenges? I was really good. Like I was really good. I kept to my time schedule really well, and as I said, put everything else aside and really focused and became really determined and put the head on that I had at the beginning of the year and not the head that I had on last week, and just changed my attitude, and it's a lot better. But this week's been really good, especially in comparison to last week. And what was I learning? I learned so much because, I mean, obviously, I learned quite a bit about techniques and software, about the software that I would be using. Previously, I've always used iMovie. Well, not always, but for my final major project last year, I used my own iMovie, and now I'm having to really dive into Premiere Pro. So looking into that a little bit more, and also After Effects was quite interesting. I'm not 100% sure about using After Effects yet. I'm not sure whether I will be using any special effects, but I have noticed a few hazards, such as a fire hazard, so I was wondering whether, which is in my creative idea, there is a fire, so I was sort of wondering whether maybe having special effects as a fire special effects will remove that hazard and possibly make production a little bit safer, which is obviously an important part of the whole process. What are my insights on last week now? As I said, it was a good week. I got a lot done, and it was a stressful week. I would call it stressful. I think the next couple of weeks, or 3 or 4 weeks, are going to be even more stressful, but I'm ready for that. I feel prepared. I know what I'm doing, and I'm very, very, very organised this year, even more than last year, and I thought I was really organised last year, so I'm not nervous. It's not intimidating me. I know that I'm going to get stressed because, like anything, there's pressure, and I really, really want to do well, so there is pressure on it, but that's me putting pressure on myself. I got an unconditional offer at university, so it's not a matter of I really, really feel like I have to get the grades to go to university. It's I really want to do this for myself, and prove to myself that I can do it. I would love a distinction, and that's where my motivation is right now. What went well and why? My attitude went well. Unlike last week, my attitude went really well this week. I had a really positive outlook from the very beginning, literally from the offset of this week. I was like, be positive, Eloise, like, you can do this, it's fine. The week before I was like, I'm never gonna get this done, and I was like moody, and just, I didn't want to do it. I really didn't want to do it. I just, because it looked like so much, and it is so much. But like I said last week, once I get started and really dive into something, I'm done. Like, that's it. I will be on one for a long time and not give up, and I can go for hours and hours. And that's exactly what I did. I didn't give up. I went for hours and hours. I spent days doing pre-production. Some things take a lot longer than you would expect them to, but overall I'm really pleased with how the week went, and how my attitude went. Is there anything I could do differently next week? Of course, there's always going to be things to improve on, like with anything. I think maybe not. I think certain things I went into too much detail, and that detail wasn't necessary, and I could be saving quite valuable time by not going into so much detail in particular parts of pre-production, and in turn spending less time on pre-production and more time on actual production. Pre-production is obviously so important, but in my opinion production is equally as important. So I don't want to sabotage production for bits of information that just aren't necessary, and that I don't need to put in my sketchbook, and that I don't need to demonstrate in pre-production. So I'm going to really look at each task in pre-production, and if I feel like it doesn't need hours and hours and hours, I'm not going to do hours and hours and hours, because I'm pushing myself too hard, I think. I mean, you can never push yourself too hard, I get that, but if it comes down to wasting time that is needed, then that is a problem. So that's the one thing I'll change next week. I'll just manage each time that I spend on each task a little bit better. My time management was great, but it could be better in that sense. What are the long-term implications? Like I said last week, pre-production is great for university. I'm going to do film production and this is a huge part of my future if I want to be in film. So it's really important that I understand well everything, and even though I have done it a few times before, I think you can never do too much pre-production. I want to know everything inside out, and I have gone a little bit above what I was expected of in pre-production. We were given a list and that said everything that we needed to include in pre-production, and I looked at my previous sketchbook from last year, the pre-production in that, and there were a few things in there. For example, the advanced shooting script, a couple of things actually that weren't included in the list that was given to us this year, and I just felt like the more the better. You can never do too much preparing, and I chose to include some more details or advanced things to hopefully boost up my grade a little bit. And again, university level, those more advanced things will be expected of me, and I'm ready for that. I'm ready to be hit with that because I've always pushed myself quite a lot when it comes to workload and things like that. So I'm really looking forward to next week. I'm looking forward to it but dreading it at the same time. I really hope that I'll get all pre-production done early and that I can start and just crack on with production, because I just can't wait. I can't wait to get to the editing stage, which is probably my favourite part, where I have the most fun. This is the nitty-gritty part where it takes quite a long time, so I'm just looking forward to this part to be over and feeling a lot better and having a weight lifted off my shoulders when everything's done. So yeah, thank you.